And I think it's time for a discussion. Why you so hard? Show me that you love me, baby. Why you so hard? Show me that you care. So many days, so many nights, so many tears. I had to cry. Told me you love me. Love was a lie. Loving you was a mistake. Loving you was a mistake. Loving you was a mistake. Loving you was a mistake.
All right, man. You're back with another star set of episode with the chat about the King Jacob, man. I am King Jacob, man. So, man, we have a great show for you tonight with a phenomenal person, a person that's been traveled all around the world and brushed shoulders with many great people. So, this evening we have the CEO of One Degree Entertainment, Mr. Kevin Bryant. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
What's up, sir? Can you see
Hey,
me?
well,
I can't.
I'm good. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We have Myra's tapping in saying hello. And
All right.
she says hi as well.
Tell her to share the link with the team so they can all jump on.
Yeah, Ma, you heard what Kev said. He said, please share the link with the team so everybody can jump on. So but yeah, man, so before we get started, man, I just want to ask a question that inquiring minds may want to know.
Okay.
Who is Mr. Kevin Bryant?
That's a loaded question. Um, well, I like to say Kevin Bright is somebody that's a big visionary. A visionary that has the depth of like a gazillion people because sometimes a lot of people don't understand that. Sometimes a lot of people can't really like foresee that. And it comes off as a mystery sometimes, but I'm that person. I'm that person who actually believes that my existence here is for others, not just for me. Like our purpose here is all for everybody else. And if, I feel like if everybody believed that way, then we'll all be here for each other. So I try to I try to exemplify that. I try to not be selfish. I try to make sure that I'm this person that's always thinking of the next best thing, um, the next thing to help others, and what we can do to make change. I'm all about change. I'm that person. And with all that being said, I'm a talented person. I'm a gifted person. Um, I'm a loving person, and I'm what they call Mr. One Degree. That's how it all came about.
Okay. Great. Okay, man. So what did music start for you at?
Music started as early, even before I could talk. Um, my mom tells this story all the time. My mother used to be in a singing group. My mother and my aunt, they sang in a gospel group. And when my mother had me, I think she said she used to hold me at rehearsals. I was like 6 months old, and I used to cry in the key of whatever they were singing. I would cry in that key. So my mother knew. They said he's gonna be a singer. I didn't know that, but when I realized it, though, when I really realized it, I think my aunt used to sing at something, and she used to be in this local band up in Jersey, and she had me come there in the basement to get on the microphone and sing. And when the band members of hers was looking at me, they was like, "Wow, this little kid got something." Now I sang before that because in kindergarten and in church, my mother used to have me. I used to sing solos at 2 and 3 years old. My mother used to stand me in the chair up in the choir pit, and I used to sing, but I don't really remember that. So when I do remember it, I think I was about 8 or 9 years old, and I was just singing. And I used to sing all the commercials that used to come on, like way back in the day. You know, we used to have the NBC. Remember, "You're Looking Good, America," all that stuff. And I used to sing all the
Right.
shows, like
Hmm.
Laverne and Shirley. I used to sing that all the time, all the TV shows. So I think that's when I knew I could do something. So I was like
Mm.
8 or 9 years old.
Okay, so we have I think Leah Murray
Okay.
tapping in.
Okay.
Yeah, so thank you for tapping in. Appreciate
What's
that.
up, Leah? So yeah, that's when I
And
knew.
okay, and so we have Jerome tapping in, one
Oh
degree.
wow. Wow. What's up, Jerome? The family.
Yeah. So appreciate y'all. Appreciate. So you understand that you have a gift. So when did the gift started getting noticed by people other than your family members?
I would do a lot of things in school. I never forget. I was singing. I moved to Virginia. My mom and dad divorced when I was like not 10, I think, and I moved to Virginia because I'm from Jersey, but I moved to Virginia. And when I would go to school, I they had auditions for this chorus thing, right? And I went in and started singing, and then my teacher came in. I didn't make it. I didn't make it because they said that I was too mature for the other kids in my fifth grade class. Like I had a vibrato very early. So I thought something was wrong with that because I felt like I knew I could sing. So my teacher came back in the fifth grade and she was like, none of my boys made it. And all the girls in the class was like, Kevin can sing, Kevin can sing. My teacher took me down there and told him that I could sing, and they're gonna put me in the choir. And ever since I got in the choir, I got a solo, and I never forget. It was "You Light Up My Life." I'll never forget that that old crazy song. And I started singing, and I started doing talent shows around the city. And the interesting story was I was winning, and my mother didn't notice. I used to sneak to the talent show because I wasn't allowed to go. My mom just came on. I just seen my mom come on. My That's crazy. So I used to sneak to these talent shows in Portsmouth, Virginia, right? And I would get my cousin to take me down there. And my mother never knew because I wasn't supposed to go. And I would win. And I think one day we went to the mall and everybody was talking about me. That's the little guy. That's the little guy. It was like a whole thing. And my mother was like, what is everybody talking about? And they said, we seen him sing. We seen him sing. And that's when I had to tell my mom, well, I went down to the Recreation Center talent show and I won. So I had to go down to get the grand prize. And my mother had to go at that point. And my mother came and I won the grand prize. And it was all in the paper and everything in Portsmouth, Virginia. And that's really when people started to know. So I started doing everything in school, singing. I was in the band and I was singing. And from there it went on. I used to be in these programs called Able and Ambitious programs, and Mr. Bill Griggs, I never forget that. It was when all the talented kids in the city would put on this show. He would come to town for like a month or so or whatever, and we would practice for this big show. And I used to get in those shows. That's
Okay,
how,
okay. So your mother is tapped in.
yeah,
Yeah, that's pretty amazing.
that's
She said
crazy.
she says eyes on you, son, with the heart.
Okay.
So man, so you in school, you doing talent shows. So once you got to high school,
Okay.
was it really crazy?
When I got to high school, I started the whole I want to be popular stuff too. So when I first got there, because well, when I was in the sixth grade, the high school used to come to our chorus to sing, and
Excuse me.
that chorus teacher knew she wanted me when I made it to high school. So I went through junior high. I was doing talent shows, doing all that stuff, singing and all these things. Then when I got to high school, I didn't want to be in the chorus because it only punks and stuff. I didn't want to be in the chorus. I wanted to just play my trumpet. So I didn't get in the chorus my first year. I was just in the band, and that teacher came and got me, and they made my schedule so that I could be in the chorus and the band. So I ended up, being in the chorus, and in high school it started getting crazy, but I was learning a lot because I was singing classical music. I started out studying classical, and that's how it really happened for me. So I was starting getting scholarships and everything. So it didn't get like music industry crazy until I moved to Atlanta. Right before that, I was just doing a lot of classical stuff. I got scholarships, and I went to Norfolk State University my first year, and I got into the concert choir. That's not, that's like you're supposed to be straight up singing, opera type stuff. I got in the concert choir, and then I got into the jazz choir. So that's when I started realizing I had like a commercial type interest in singing, with the jazz, because we played stuff off the band. And I'll never forget, I was in college in the pep rally band, and so was Aaron Hall at Virginia State. So when we were in the jazz band, the pep rally band, we would sing radio songs. So I would be singing like Stevie Wonder, then Aaron Hall would be singing, and it started this battle between like me and Aaron Hall. And I was in college, my freshman year in college. So once I left there at Virginia, I wanted to transfer because I wanted to pursue this career for real. So I finagled my way to get transfer schools to come to Atlanta. And that's when I started really getting in the right things that put me in front of people like, the Bobby Browns, the people at MCA and stuff like that. I would do the talent shows here, and I would win all the time. A funny story. I was in I was in talent shows so much in Atlanta when I first came. Other contestants, when they saw me come, they would leave because everybody just thought I was gonna win. Only because I think I had this unique talent at the time. So I see a lot of guys now is doing what I was doing then. So it's not as unique anymore, but that's kind of what happened. So it started getting crazy more or less then because I got my first gig with Bobby Brown. I got my with Pebbles, and I started singing with Keisha Jackson, and she was signed to Sony, and I was touring with her. And then we got with her mother. I was with Millie Jackson. So it started there when I got to Atlanta.
Okay, okay, cool, cool. So we have Miss Sherry Ford that's tapped in with us. Thank you for tapping in. Shout out to Rec Boy Shot, in the studio with the Rec Boys, and Michael Schultz. He says, "What's up, Kev?"
Oh wow, now that Michael, okay. His daughter is with us with One Degree, and she is an awesome talent. Hopefully you get to interview her. Her name is
Okay,
Emmy. Yeah.
okay, okay. So Millie Jackson. Oh man, listen.
Okay.
So touring with Millie Jackson and her daughter, right? So what was that experience like touring with the world famous Millie Jackson?
Well, it was an experience. First of all the things I knew about Millie Jackson when I was growing up, I wasn't allowed to listen to her music or any of that stuff. And then when I started singing with Keisha, and I'll never forget when Millie came to see us perform at a club, and I think Myra would remember this. She came to see us at a club and decided she wanted all of us to go on tour with her. So I was like, oh wow, I'm about to go sing for Millie Jackson. And when I first saw Millie Jackson, I swear, I never forget. We went to the rehearsal and I saw Millie Jackson walk in, and I said, Keisha, that's your mother? I had no idea that Millie Jackson's complexion was it was very, very light. So I didn't know that that was her. And she was like, yeah, because all the pictures and stuff look very, toned down and brown. And when I met Millie, the experience was this. She was very straight up. She said exactly what she wanted to say. And I almost felt like, oh, this is offensive. But as I got to know her, it was like, because Millie don't care. She don't play. She just say what's on her mind. And she said that with me too. Like, a funny story, y'all. Like, I never forget. I Most of the time I sang the top note, and even if I'm singing with girls, they would sing alto and whatever. But I was just a strong, like, first soprano on that in my natural voice. So I never forget when Millie said, "Ladies, sing this and such and such," and I said, "And gentlemen." And Millie was like, "What part do you sing?" And that was my first run in with her. And I said, "I sing the top part." She said, "That's the hot part, right?" And I said, "Yeah." She said, "Well, like I said, ladies." And I was like, so my first experience with Millie was like, yo, you just
Oh,
called me a lady.
so hold up. So are you telling me that you sing first soprano?
I did, yes. Mostly, I could sing all parts, but I was always utilized to sing the top part. I was just very strong at that.
Wow, man, listen.
That's why I said some of the guys,
Man, listen, man. First
my
soprano,
range,
man, listen, man. But that's different.
it was different at the time, but now you got people like Kevin Ross, Avery, B Slade. You got all these guys now that are doing that. So it seems a little more natural now. But at the time, nobody was doing that but me.
Word, word. Shout out to my homie Michael Butler for tapping in, man. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you for sure. So, man, now you're moving and grooving, and you're going on tour with other people. So, what was it like for you to record your very first single?
Woo! Thank you. Um, that was a surreal experience too because I was doing the whole LaFace thing, and I was glad. A lot of people, I had a lot of deal opportunities at the time, but they never worked out. Something would always happen that didn't work out, and all that stuff. So when I was dealing with the LaFace thing, and that didn't work out, Pebbles told me that she was gonna sign me to her new label, Savvy Records, at the time. So I never forget. I was working with this management out of St. Louis, and I was recording demos. The engineer was a producer, and I didn't know that. So he asked me when was I coming to New York. Luckily, I was in Millie Jackson's play, Young Man, Older Woman. So we were going to be in New York for like 2 months, really 2.5 months. I was on Broadway. So every day that I was off, I could record with this guy. So I left the people I was with the same people that managed Nelly. They were the ones doing my demo. I was going to come out, then with the Nelly stuff. But I left them to do Millie, and then I started recording with this guy to do Pebbles. So what happened was he wanted to get into R&B because he was a house music producer. I never wanted to do house music. Everybody kept telling me to do it, and I didn't want to do it. So I recorded R&B with him. And then we had one more song to do, and he said, "Yo, I really want you to do a house record." And I was like, "I'm not doing that. Everybody want me to do a house record. I'm not doing it." He said, "With your range, you really need to do it." So I said, "All right." So he asked me what would I do, and I said, "Well, I want to do a Shaka Khan remake because I thought that would, really like shock the industry. A male doing Shaka Khan, right?"
Right.
So he said, "Which one?" I said, "I Know You, I Live You." And then he said, "That's a good one." He said, "What about Any Love?" And I was like, "I never heard of it." And then he was like, "Well, it's a record on the Master Jam Master Jam album." And I said, "Who produced it?" And he said, "Quincy Jones." And I said, "You know what? Okay, I'll do it." Now, mind you, I'm just thinking it's gonna be a demo. So I did the record. He couldn't believe that I did. He was like, "You can do all those parts?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'll do all the background." And I did all the parts. You know how Shaka Khan sings. So I did all of
Right.
that. And then I came back to Atlanta to get my demo to Pebbles. For some reason, it was a delay in getting to her. And I got a call 2 weeks later. He said, "Yo, you got a deal." So recording that was the process because I really wasn't recording for that record. But I loved doing that record. Shout out to Paul Scott and Shank Thompson for putting me in the studio. They called BOP at the time. But thank you for that and forcing me, not really forcing me, but just coercing me into doing a house record because it was my first record, which was house, and I signed to Strictly Rhythm. That was my first record. So when he called me, he was like, "Yo, you got a deal." And I was like, "Well, who?" And he said, Strictly Rhythm. And I was like, "Who is that?" Like, I didn't know who that was. So he said, "It's the largest dance label in the world." And I was like, "Okay, I guess." He said, "Well, it's just a stepping stone. Just do it as a stepping stone because I'm still trying to be R&B." So I go to a mall here, and the guy that worked in there, his name was Stacy Quartermain. He worked at Sony after that, but he asked me when was I going to sign my deal, and I said, "Well, I just got a record deal. I'm supposed to go up to New York." And he said, "Well, who?" And I said, "Strictly Rhythm." There was another guy in there who became one of my good friends. He was like, "Did I just hear you say Strictly Rhythm?" And I was like, "Yeah, you heard of them?" And he was like, "That's like the LaFace of house music." So he picked up a Billboard magazine and showed me Billboard, and he started running down the dance charts, which I didn't even know that dance charts existed. And everything, a lot of it was Strictly Rhythm. So I felt good about that. So recording that first record and choosing that record, which is still selling today, was a big thing for me, even though it was a remake.
No doubt, no doubt. So we have my good friend, man, childhood friend, man. Like a mentor to me, Charles Jones tapping in. Phenomenal piano player, phenomenal gospel singer, phenomenal choir director. You know, thanks for tapping in, man. And we also have Toya Brand tapping in, the owner of Sea of Things. She's a herbalist. Um, inspiring to be a holistic doctor, which I definitely know she's gonna get there. But if you have any problems in your body, anything that you need to be healed for, she definitely got something for you. You know
I
what I
need.
mean? Yeah. So most definitely. So thank both of them for tapping in, and we're gonna take a quick commercial break, and we'll be back momentarily with the CEO of One Degree Entertainment, none other than Mr. Kevin Bryant. Stay tuned for more important messages.
Hey.
I'm tired of lying, and it's getting plain to see. I done tried hard to deny, but this woman changing me. Might go to the clubs, but I leave kinda early, and I don't drink and drive, but chug and jive, so my woman ain't gotta worry. No, no. See, I can't be playing with her heart or playing with her mind. We ain't getting no younger, can't play with my time. And I know she miss me and can't wait to kiss me. So I might be invited tonight.
You ain't gotta look for me.
I might be invited tonight. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right, we back, man. That was
What's
my
up?
homie out of Mississippi, Too Smooth, man. In by 10 tonight, which is one of his hit singles, man.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
man.
Nice. Nice.
Yes, yes, sir, yes, sir. I figured you was like that, man. I figured
Yeah,
you
yeah, yeah,
was
yeah.
like that.
That was nice.
So let's talk about the industry. 25 years.
Say that again.
Can we
Say that
say
again.
that you've been 20, 25? Can we
In
say
the
that you've
industry.
been in the industry for 20 years?
My first single,
Yes.
it'll be 30 years in November. I am in my celebrating my 30 year. Something changed for you, I see.
That's
Is is it your connection? Because I can't really hear you, but okay, there you go, I think.
can you hear me now? Okay,
Yes,
okay,
sir.
great, great, great. I said, wow, man. 30 years, man. 30 years.
Yep.
Industry vet. I love it, man. I love it, brother. I love it, man. So, before we get into your label, man, people have been begging for you to put out a new project. People, people want you back on that stage. You know, when I when I listen to your project, man, back to your first record, I said, man, CNC Music Factory vibes. You
Yep.
know, CC Peniston vibes.
Yep.
So I was like, that's times music, and if people know about house music, EDM music, electronica, even with reggaeton, how they'll take some of the
Yeah.
house songs and mix them in. It's
Yeah.
huge, especially in places like Italy, Japan, Germany, England, the Czech Republic, Norway. It's big.
You must have Googled some stuff because that's all the places where I was hitting at.
Hey man, hey look here, man. Like when I have somebody on, research is definitely a part of my business. You know what I mean?
Yes, and it's funny you said CNC Music Factory because my first album was supposed to be done by David Cole. Was one of the C's. It was Cole and Clavellis and Cole, and I was supposed to, and I knew it would have hit, but he died 2 weeks before my studio session with him.
Wow.
And you mentioned CC Peniston. I have a few songs demoed with Steve Silk Hurley, which was her producer at the time. Yeah, so Dang, but yeah, I would have been one of them CNC music back. That moment was devastating to me. That I didn't get to work with that man.
Mm. And then I remember because I lived in DC for about 12 years, so I remember hanging out with my cousin in Baltimore, and they would mix that CC Peniston, they would mix that CNC fragment, and then they'll put that soul to soul in there, and
Yep,
then they'll break it down with the percolator. So just
yep,
some really club mix. So when I heard you, I was like, oh yeah, they begging for that, because it's huge now, especially with all the EDM DJs. It's huge.
yes, and it makes you feel good. Like when I even when I perform live, I had always had such an international vibe, like soul to soul and D influence and people like that was always my thing. I wanted to work with them, and I just didn't get it. What's incognito? You know what I'm saying? I always wanted to work with them, and I feel like music is missing that again. Like we want to dance, we want to feel good because there's too much going on in the world that's making us not do it. So I think it's time for a new record too. So I just don't know what to do. The industry now is so different. I don't know how to come out like that. And so many people ask me every time I go to you putting out a new record, or if I go to an event, they go, "Are you singing tonight?" And so I'm just like overwhelmed that people took to me
So
like that.
so if Jacob W. Anson II, aka King Jacob, was your A&R, I'm going to tell you what I would do.
Mm.
I would tell you to put out whatever you want, make sure it's a feel good track, and I would only push it to top 40 radio stations. Only top 40. You know what I'm saying? Because on a top 40 radio station, it would be, you feature somebody like a Josh Stone, or you feature
Yep.
somebody like a Nick Jonas, or you know what I'm
Yep.
saying? So it's like that dance and that party music, man, electronica and things that's top 40 music because it's
Yes.
it's catered to a certain type crowd. If you're not familiar with the house music and you haven't went to a rave party, then people wouldn't understand what I'm talking about. But if you was there and you see people getting thrown in the crowd and people tossing people around and you know what I mean. So I mean you just have to be there to really
Yes.
understand. So I've hosted some events like that. So you know what I mean. Yeah.
Yes.
So.
Yes.
hmm
I
So
see you got vision.
yeah, I do. I
Yeah.
do. I do, my brother. I do, man. And because music is such a universal language, and I tell artists all the time, don't box yourself in because if you box yourself in, then there's a new audience that you're leaving out. You know what I mean? Because if you people understand that music is such a universal language, then they'll understand that there's so many other demographics that love what you do, but you never give them a chance to listen.
So many people just stuck in R&B, gospel, and hip hop.
Yeah,
That's it.
yeah, you're right, absolutely, man. So you've toured for a very long time. You work with a lot of different people, touched so many stages in nationally and internationally, man. And so now you are still the singer songwriter, voice coach, but the vocal coach, but now you are CEO of One Degree Entertainment. Um, and you always been Mr. Kevin Bryant, but now they said, that's Mr. Kevin Bryant now. You know what I mean? You
It
know what I
got
mean?
a different emphasis.
So the structure of building um the label, man, like what made you want to do it and what was that process like for you?
Well, honestly, to be honest with you, I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to
Okay.
do a record label yet. I didn't want to do it yet. Um, what happened was, I was working with another label. I was cool with management and artist development. I was cool with that because I felt like my gift was singing on stage and stuff, but my calling was to develop people because I feel like God gave me this unique gift to like see stars inside people. Like I can really see what you're supposed to be. So I wanted to develop and then manage them. So I was working with this other label, and I was bringing like a lot of my know-how to the situation, my artists, because that was already an established label. So I felt like it would have been easier. But working with and developing the relationships there, it didn't work out the way it needed to work out for me. So I was kind of pushed into doing it myself, doing my own label to bring out my vision, because sometimes when you work with other people, your vision gets blocked. And God has a way of saying to you, I put that in you for you to do. You don't just give it to somebody else because they're not going to see it the same way. So when that didn't work out, I felt like, everybody say I know everybody, and they started calling me Mr. One Degree, Mr. One Degree. So I was like, you know what? When I do this, I'm a One Degree Entertainment, and I felt like One Degree Entertainment, where artists and their dreams connect, because I know all artists dream, but they don't connect to nothing. So I said, you know what? I can make them connect because I'm 1 degree from everybody. You get what I'm saying? So it's a
Okay.
connection. So when that happened and I made 1 degree, I said, we're going to be a 4-in-1 label. We're going to consult, develop, manage, and record. And that's how it started. And once I was afraid at first, I was nervous about it, but once I did it, it seemed like everything, it's been an avalanche of opportunity, an avalanche of success, an avalanche of just good talent. So that's what I
Right.
said.
Okay. Okay. So we have Miss Miosha Trail tapping in out of she's out of Virginia Beach, but currently living in Austin, Texas. But moving closer to our way in Charlotte, North Carolina now. She was the young lady I was telling you about, Kev. That's a gospel singer, songwriter, and a producer.
Okay.
And she she makes fire production. She plays the keys, and man, that's the one that I was telling you about that I was going to introduce you to. And so she's from your side of, as they say, your side of the land, the Virginia Beach
Okay.
area. So you know
Okay.
what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So
Nice.
so 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 Kev, I've listened, man. Listen, I've listened to a few of your artists, but man, you know who my guy is from your label, man. And we don't got to go over that, man. I think he'll hit Jim. But you also sent me a YouTube link from a couple of females. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And they are pretty talented as well, man. So your ear is crazy. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
Um, your ear is crazy. But when I think of 1 degree and how I look at it, and just from me and you talking and vibing and you sending me, some links and stuff like that, I don't really know of too many multicultural labels, and I'm gonna tell you what I mean. Can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you now.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So somebody was calling.
That's crazy. You doing a show. Oh, you gotta. I know how it is because I do shows as well.
All right.
What
You
up?
hear me?
Yeah, I see somebody just popped on. I love that I can see that.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Is he gone? So, because I do shows, I know how to do this. So, I don't know what's going on, but there we go. Coming back.
You hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right. So Um, man,
You,
you got some crazy talent in like I just I was looking at your label and comparing it to like a Russell Simmons, you know, like a Leo Core or like labels that's made a lot of money, like No Limit and Cash Money and Slip and Slide and College Park and but what I see that you have different, man, is your label is multicultural. Like it's not one dimensional.
yeah,
And I feel like if a lot of these labels and I just feel like the music industry is still segregated. It's
right,
still so divided.
right.
And for it to be such a universal language, that's crazy to me. But you're implementing something different with One Degree. And so can you talk about why you are implementing the universal language with your entertainment company and what drives you to do that?
Well, first of all, you got to understand, like, I'm an international recording artist. So, for one, I love all genres. And a lot of reasons why it was so hard to pinpoint me was because I was a little bit of everything myself. So, I felt like the best thing to do, if I'm going to be 1 degree from the world, that's why the world is in our logo, then we have to represent people all over the world, all creeds, all colors, all whatever, because I want everybody to enjoy the vision that I have. That's why we have pop artists, we have R&B artists, we have I like a lot of artists. Like there was Southern Soul, there was all of that. We even have artists that represent different areas of life. So it's like, why not represent everybody? If I'm gonna be 1 degree from the world, then we got to represent the world. I believe that a label should represent the people that's out there. All kinds of people love music, so why not represent all kinds of people?
I can dig it. And when you sent me those different artists over, man, just to man send me a couple links to look at, I said to myself, this brother is different. Where, where, where has he been? The music industry really needs him. You know what I
Wow.
mean? And that's what I said. Because when you can have a person that sounds like Dorico, but you got a person that's stepping in the forefront to sound like Elton John, and then you have somebody that sounds like a Kerry Clarkson. Yeah, you know what I mean? So it's crazy, man. So, but I commend you for that, man. So tell me about how you scout your artists and what drives you to make you want to work with artists.
Well, right now, a lot of it is based on me. Um, it's something that I feel and see. Like I told you about the gift that I think I have, that I know
Right,
I have. Um,
right.
I can see, like when an artist come to me, I can see like everything they're supposed to be, and if that does something to me, I'm like, ooh, it's got to be something. Not just like I can recognize if an artist can sing their butt off, right? I can recognize that you can sing your butt off, but your mind might not be right. So no, I'm not gonna go for that artist just because he can sing. Or I'm not gonna go for that artist just because she a female and she got a big butt. Or if it's a male and he cut up. None of that means anything to me. It has to be a full package all the way around. So that's why I develop the artists that have that type of potential. And when I'm looking for artists, it has to be something special about them that kind of flips my switch, the switch that makes me see stuff like that. It's a special thing, and I'm above a lot of people in that, right? Because I was special. I was a child prodigy, so I totally understand what that looks like, and that's what I want to showcase. Because a lot of these artists now, I think sometimes we put them out there because they got 100 million followers, but they not. There's nothing special about them. They can't do all the things that they're supposed to do as an artist. They don't even know why they're an artist. They're just on stage because they think they can do something. So it has to be some depth. It has to be something more. It has to be something that's purposeful. And I think new legends have to replace old legends. So that's what I look for, legendary potential that can replace. I'm looking for, people say, oh, there will be no other Michael Jackson. I beg to differ. The Michael Jackson that we had, he was supposed to be that. And there's going to be another one. And we have to get them. No, it's not going to be another Michael himself, but it's going to be another person that's that talented, that creative, that business savvy. It's going to be that. I want the next Michael. I want the next uh, Madonna. You know what I'm saying? I want that, but it'll just be a different person. You feel me? Or did you...
Okay, so yeah, I feel the next Madonna. So with that being said, now you have the compilation that's out, right?
Yep. Shout out to ODE Presents Volume 1. Y'all go get that.
Right. So right. So y'all definitely go listen, go grab it, man, and have that thing on your playlist and play it repeatedly.
Mm-hmm.
So with the compilation album, so you have about 6 or 7 artists on your label, and so
Yes, 6
and
right now.
so 6. So was the compilation project just an introduction of who Onedegree is?
Yes, it's the introduction of the company.
Okay.
That's pretty much what it is. And we have 3 artists on it. Dorico, which you know and love.
Mhm.
That's my family. Shout out to him. Brielle, who's new to the game, but I think she brings a lot. I think she's gonna bust down a lot of doors and break through some barriers with her because she speaks from a different cloth. Even though a lot of people compare her to like Monica or Kalani, it's a little bit of that in it, but there's a little bit more than that too. And then of course we have Jawan, who's very very vigilant in becoming a success. He is. He transformed. I love to see that when artists put in the work to become something. So shout out to all
Okay,
of
that's
them.
dope. That's dope, man. So yeah, no doubt. Shout out to everybody on the label, man, and shout out to the ones behind the scenes that work with you that people don't see. Shout out to them as well, and shout out to Legacy Magazine for tapping in. Legacy Magazine is one of the best media outlets. That definitely want to work with becoming businesses, artists, labor owners, nonprofits, community leaders, all of the above. So shout out to Legacy Magazine for tapping in. So we will take
Shout out to the men that just came home from jail and said no matter what the circumstances is, I'm never going back. Shout out to the men that said I'm tired of neglecting my children. I'm stepping up and being a man for my children, teaching them morals, honor, responsibility. Shout out to the men that say, you know what, I'm tired of sleeping on that couch. I'm tired of using my mother. I'm tired of using that girl. I'm going to step up and be a man for me. Shout out to the men that just graduated from college or going to college.
So
Shout out to the men that just came home from jail and said no matter what the circumstances is, I'm never going back. Shout out to the men that said I'm tired of neglecting my children. I'm stepping up and being a man for my children, teaching them morals, honor, responsibility. Shout out to the men that say, you know what, I'm tired of sleeping on that couch. I'm tired of using my mother. I'm tired of using that girl. I'm going to step up and be a man for me. Shout out to the men that just graduated from college or going to college. Shout out to the men that graduated from trade school. Shout out to to the men that say, yo, I'm just tired of being tired and I need to make a change. Shout out to the men that stayed there, that's raising their children. Shout out to the men that's getting married or want to stay married. Shout out to the men that's taking care of children that's not biologically theirs. Shout out to the men that's trying to figure it out. Shout out to the men because you are a beautiful soul. Shout out to the men that's just being a part of everybody's life to make a change, man. Stop the violence.
You know, shout out to
Yes,
the
sir.
men.
Yes,
You
sir.
know what
That
I
was
mean? No doubt, that's making a change and trying to impact the world, man. And man, yeah, like the brother said, man, stop the violence because we definitely need each other more than now, more
yeah.
than we ever did. Man. So, so, Kev, man, you did some remarkable things, you know, in your life, and still heading to do a lot more remarkable things, man. When when people talk about you, or when people want to honor you, what is it? What is it that? What type of imprint do you want to leave in their lives?
I want to leave an imprint of striving and being motivated to move on and follow their dreams. I want people to see me as the motivator of them following their dreams and being their authentic self.
I love it.
That's how I want them to see me.
Okay, man.
I mean, I
So,
want them to be
um,
inspired. You know what I mean?
right, right. And with that being said, man, that's phenomenal that you're still this guy that has navigated through the music industry, that's done a lot, that's seen a lot, that's brushed shows with a lot of great people, man. And here you are still giving others a chance to shine. That says a lot about your bloodline, your home raising, who you are, and who 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 God has allowed you to become. You know what I mean? And so I just say salute to you, my brother.
Wow, thank you. I feel like I that's my duty to do that. So and I have an amazing team. Um and especially like the newer people that join and the eagerness and how they come on. You know, I want to say shout out to Preston, shout out to DJ, shout out to all of them because I when I start saying names, I be all messed up. But I do remember there's one person that came to me in a crisis, almost like we needed um, somebody to do visuals and to do graphics and to do marketing and to really push the brand. And his name is Ralph Edwards from the Red Brand. Let me tell you something. All I did was say what I needed. And that's true with all of them. Like I just say what I needed. They'll come to me, Kev, I want to work with you. And I'm so blessed because I feel like God put that in them to come to me to help me do what I'm doing. So I'm not the only one that do stuff for people. The whole team does too. So I want to shout out to Ralphie, the Red Brand. He does all our visuals. He does all our marketing and branding now. And I think it's phenomenal the stuff that he does. I can't wait to see the I want to shout out to him for that, and all the rest of the people on the team, the original members with me, the newer people. I just am so blessed to have so many good people on my team.
No doubt, no doubt, no doubt, man. So before we close out, um, can you tell people where to find you at, where to connect with you at, man? And if you have any big announcements, you can make them now.
Okay, sure. I am Kevin Bryant on most things on Facebook, on Instagram. I am yes Kevin said it. Yes, Kevin said it on IG. Also, One Degree Entertainment everywhere. One Degree Entertainment everywhere. And I do have some special announcements. We're developing an artist development program called Artist Evolution. It's probably none else like it. It's the program that developed people to be legends, and that's what we want. I'm gonna be putting out information about that real soon. I know on April 8th here in Atlanta, we will be having what we call Industry Night. I know Industry Nights was stuff back in the day. Well, we're bringing that back. And we're going to allow artists to perform in front of the industry guests that we have there networking to, share their demo and stuff with us. I'm going to do that. So that's April 8th in Atlanta, and it's going to be at Chubb's house. I know y'all familiar with Chubb Rock. So we're going to do that there. And April 12th, if you're in Florence, South Carolina, I have an artist by the name of Cam Nettles. That's the Elton John you're speaking about. He will be coming home, showing his hometown what he's been doing here in Atlanta. So yeah, that's what's going on for April. And May 24th, we're doing the R&B festival in Huntsville, Alabama. So I'll be there too.
Okay, and look at here. My auntie just tapped in. What's up, Aunt Lisa? How you?
She just tapped in. Okay.
Yeah. Aunt Lisa, what's going on with you? I'm glad that you tapped in with us, man, and you always get me right. Always been a mentor to me, so I definitely appreciate you, man. Love you so much for sure. Um, she always be like, "No, Jacob, don't do it that way. Just be humble. Just stay calm. It's gonna be all right." You know what I mean? Cause this music industry can kind of get you out of your character sometimes. So
Of course.
it's good to have that voice of reasoning that be like, no, it's gonna be fine. Just keep doing it like you're doing it. So but man, Kev, listen, man. I can say this. You're gonna be one of the biggest. One Degree Entertainment is gonna be one of the biggest entertainment companies in on the whole globe.
And I
It
claim
will
that.
be.
I hear you. Thank you for
Yeah.
stating that.
Yeah.
Thank you for putting that out there along with everybody else because I believe it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, man. So man, we got what's up, Nico Grande, man. What's a good friend of mine, Southern Soul singer, songwriter, and he's a professional drummer. So
Nice.
even though he sings Southern Soul and songwrite, but he's a professional drummer from the time he was like been playing drums since he was 10. So I always tell him, man, like, you can get your agent just for you being a professional drummer and tour the world with that. He was like, yeah, I know, but shout out to all the musicians, man, that actually really play musicians. There's still a need for you. There's a love for you, and people are really still looking for you. Do you know what I mean? Not the singers, not the rappers, but the people that play keys, piano, trumpet, saxophone, trombone, clarinet, violin, all that. People are still looking for you. So, shout out to all y'all. So I just want to thank you for coming on and chopping up with me, man. We had a few technical difficulties here and there, but kept on pushing, got through it. I really appreciate your patience, man, and thank you for coming on and chopping up with me, man. It's been a remarkable dialogue, and man, I appreciate you.
I appreciate you. Thank you for having me. And anytime, I love talking and I love the fact that people want to listen. So
Oh yeah, man, cause it's so much that come with you, man, and this a little bit over 15-minute segment is not enough. So I'll definitely be bringing you on, and the next topic is you gonna see we're gonna do the analog music era versus the digital music era,
ah,
and what's changed, and what do we still need from the analog music era to help push artists.
yep. That's a good one. That's a good one.
Oh, oh yeah. So in One Degree Entertainment, I will be contacting Kev for some slots I have open to conduct some interviews with you guys, and I love to have you on. So you just stay tuned, and he'll be getting in contact with you. But Kev, man, peace, love, and man, keep rising to the top.
Yep.
We out of here. Peace.
One. That 1 degree. Later.
Later.